The way I would define tails for me is really what I would just call a regime change. So sometimes when we talk about option pricing, probably a lot of people have now heard about Black-Scholes. One of my other classes, we kind of talked about the basic Black-Scholes model. Um, there's some other models out there a little more complex called jump to fusion models. And the basic concept though is what happens when things stop moving continuously. Because a lot of these options pricing discussions have this kind of assumption that markets smoothly move up and down and that you can measure risk looking at things like standard deviation and correlation. And those generally work pretty well. But to me, tail risk really means when you have a regime change, meaning that suddenly you get massive moves in the standard deviation or the implied volatility of the market, and you have kind of non-continuous trading, often gaps in your ability to hedge, and changes in correlation that are substantial moves on the chart. And it's kind of hard to give an exact measure of that. I think we're going to talk a little bit later about delta on the tails, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like when you look at a lot of, and we'll talk about this more later, I think, but like a lot of investment banks were thinking, okay, the correlation between these assets in 2007 was 15% or 20%, and then suddenly in a week it's 100% correlation. And in the commodities markets where I work, and you might see volatility that's consistently 15%. You brought up natural gas, Chris, and then the next day the volatility on natural gas or power can go to 250%. I mean, so we're not talking about like a smooth, continuous move. Like we have limit moves in the commodities market, so you can literally not be able to hedge your delta. The market can be limit up every single day for 6 days in a row, and so we'll talk about that more. But that's kind of, you have to start to think about what happens at these extreme levels. What if you can't trade? What if the thing that you thought you could buy to protect yourself suddenly costs 10x or 100x? A week later.
Yeah.